Welcome to my human design channel. My name is Juji. This is HD by Z. And if you're new here, this is a space where I talk about mostly relationships by analyzing celebrity charts. I talk about the system of human design itself, and sometimes I interview people to help you get an idea of what you can get from going on your own human design journey. Well, guys, I've been away for a while. I've been very, very busy with my work. The Washington Post just talked about human design, so I feel like I'm just going to keep getting busier. So I really wanted to get this video out about Ellen and Portia because their relationship is obviously fascinating. They've known each other for 23 years at this point, and their relationship has really stood the test of time. So I wanted to look under the hood and see what was going on with them. But before we get into all of that, I just want to remind you all, and if you're new here, let you know, I do a group coaching membership for women called the Beehive. We have weekly Zoom calls. You get access to all of my previous workshops with a new one added each month. You also get access to a special group chat where I can answer your questions in real time. And you have the opportunity to watch all of the replays from our previous calls, because watching other people get coached is almost as valuable as getting coaching for yourself. So the link will be down in the show notes. Don't miss out on that. So that's the most accessible way to work with me. I also do readings, foundational and otherwise. I do obviously relationship readings and coaching as well. All of those links will be down below in the master link. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, hello@hdbyz.com. So, okay, let's get into Ellen and Portia, because this is actually a couple that was nominated multiple times and it's been on my list. So I'm really excited. I did a little bit of research to prepare for this. I watched their Oprah interview, which was fascinating. And I feel like I just want to tell their story through their charts. So let's take a look at Ellen first. All right, so this is Ellen DeGeneres. She is a generator. She is emotional solar plexus authority, single definition, 5-1 profile on the left angle cross of the alpha. And this is kind of an aside, but Ellen has recently been accused of being a little bit of a tyrant when it comes to the way that she runs the back end of her show. And I really just want to point out that she does have this gate 31 in her cross. And this is called the gate of influence, which is part of the channel of the alpha. So even though Ellen has this undefined throat center, which potentially makes it easier for her to talk to a lot of different kinds of people, which we see because she's a talk show host first and foremost, but there is an element to her expression that is a bit authoritarian, and I can see where that could potentially get her into trouble. But this video isn't about Ellen and her bad behavior. In fact, it's about the way that Ellen is actually a fabulous partner to Portia de Rossi, who was still closeted when they met. So let's take a look at her chart. So this is Portia's chart. As you can see, they have a lot of similarities, but what is very different is her completely open solar plexus. So Portia is also a generator. She is sacral authority, split definition of 4-6 profile on the right angle cross of the 4 ways. So the first thing that struck me when I was listening to their Oprah interview is Portia talking about how attracted she was immediately when she met Ellen at a party in the year 2000, but they didn't reconnect until 2003, and they weren't actually officially a couple, like red carpet official, until 2005. So this made me wonder, because she's a 6-line profile, when was this woman's Saturn return? When was she potentially mature enough to be out and proud? And I had the opportunity to check. She had her Saturn return that you can see here in August of 2001. So that's when she started climbing onto the roof, making sense out of the first 30 years. And potentially what she came to is actually being my fully expressed self, being a role model to other people, and being brave and coming out of the closet is actually the way that I want to live my life. So she surrendered to the fact that she was gay and finally ended up asking Ellen out on a date, which probably was terrifying with this open solar plexus. But it really has led to an incredible relationship and a 15-year marriage. So kudos to her for being so brave. And of course, kudos to Ellen as well. She was a trailblazer when it comes to outing herself on her own show and deciding that she was going to continue her career regardless, and really persevering in the face of all of that. So let's take a look at them together. All right, so together these two are 8 and 1, have some fun. They have an open throat together, which is interesting. I don't often see this in couples, especially not celebrity couples, where expression is such a big part of what they do. But it's interesting because they potentially have a lot of different ways that they can express themselves. And what really struck me when I was looking at their charts together is that they don't have a single electromagnetic connection together. And what we call electromagnetics is the sparks in the relationships, but they do have a companionship channel together, the 2644. And before I get into what that actually represents, I just want to point out that both Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, David Beckham and Victoria Beckham, both said that they experienced love at first sight when they saw their partners for the first time. And they too have companionship channels with their partners, as well as Portia de Rossi, who said that seeing Ellen for the first time was love at first sight for her. So the question that I ask in this video is companionship more important than electromagnetic? And because I constantly say that human design is pattern recognition, I'm going to answer my own question and say, I think so. I think so. I think that the sparks can keep a relationship spicy. I think they can keep a relationship interesting and potentially add to its longevity. But I do think that companionship is ultimately what creates long-lasting unions. Now, the longevity between Portia and Ellen is unusual, mostly because they are a Hollywood couple. If one of them had been a regular person and not in the limelight, it might have been a little bit of a different story. But they are a success story by any stretch of the imagination. So this channel of surrender that they have together is the design of a transmitter. This is all about how they present themselves. You know, they are frequently seen wearing matching outfits. They have been very public about their romance. Anytime a tabloid tries to stir the pot, they are instantly on defense and deny all allegations of misconduct or anything like that. And honestly, Ellen, with her 5-1 profile as this heretic, is the one that seems to be like running the show, not because she's more famous, not because she makes more money, not because she's the emotional authority even, but because she is this 5-1 profile who is the one being projected on. And I would also say, you know, she is older than Portia. She was out of the closet before Portia. And if you think about it, Ellen has had a huge role in creating acceptance around homosexuality in, you know, the everyday American home. She was a daytime talk show host that is mostly watched by the middle of the country. And they were projecting onto her that she was funny and sweet and smart and worthy of watching, and nobody seemed to protest that she was a lesbian. So again, kudos to Ellen, kudos to Portia for being brave enough, as she said, to get together with the most famous lesbian on earth when she was talking to Oprah about it. I do believe that because of their ability to connect on this level through this companionship channel, they will have longevity ongoing, even after Ellen's career is, you know, winding down. I mean, they're probably happy they get to spend some time together finally instead of her crazy schedule. As for why Ellen might have been open to waiting for Portia, or why she didn't end up getting into a relationship between the time that they met and the time that they actually got together, I can kind of think of two things, right? So Ellen is emotionally defined, so she needs multiple opportunities to meet someone and get to know them. You know, Portia is a fourth line, so she needs to be friends first anyway. And she did mention that they were friends for a while before she got up the nerve to ask her out. And Ellen is a single definition. Now, we don't really talk about this much, but single definition people are very whole and contained within themselves. They potentially aren't seeking partnerships the way that split definition people do. And I mean, the majority of the world is split. So it's really all about understanding that there is nothing to get together, that we are whole and complete within ourselves. It's just the mind's filtration system that tells us that we need to connect outside of ourselves in order to get our lives together. And because Ellen doesn't have that dilemma, potentially she was very patient when it comes to, the steps that it took and the encouragement that it took to get Portia to finally step into the public eye and publicly profess her love for Ellen. So I really do believe that because they have this companionship, because they're well suited together, they will have longevity in their relationship. All right, guys, I think that's a really good place to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you have any comments or questions, please put them down below. If you liked this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so that you can get notified every time I drop a new one of these. I promise I won't leave you hanging for this long again. And again, if you want to get in touch with me, all of my information will be in the show notes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Until next time, ciao for now.